Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Forest Audio Recordings. This is my latest one, and I went to a new spot, kind of cool. It's a little bit different area than where I've been going, so I was kind of excited to see what I was going to find. And oddly enough, I got a lot of the same thing that I got on previous recordings from like a week earlier. A lot of knocks. Now, some of these knocks we're going to listen to, they could very well just be acorns falling or trees branch breaks or whatever, something stepping on a branch. But some of them I feel like are pretty legitimate. Like those are knocks. So speaking of knocks, let's get started with this first one here. All right, I don't know if you could hear it, but right here there was a second kind of a I don't even know if I want to call this a knock, because you know what this really sounds like? My friend David pointed this out, that sometimes these Sasquatch are known for knocking on trees, but also they make that sound with their mouth, like like a mouth pop, like that kind of sound. That, to me, that's what this sounds like. So listen again. Kind of. Right? But then there's another one that's right here. It's very faint, so you got to really listen. A little bit higher in pitch. Okay, so, nothing too crazy. Let's see what this is. Yeah, so that's kind of weird. So it kind of sounds like a tree knock and then some shuffling around in the brush. It could also be something that broke, crashed down through a branch and then hit the ground. So listen again. So the only thing is, especially this last one, it sounds far away. The first knock kind of sounds, distant, but then this middle one sounds closer. Inconclusive. Moving along. Okay, so anyone want to guess what these are? If you've been watching some of my videos, you probably are starting to kind of recognize these things. Those look like owls. The good old, my favorite, barred owl. And that's that classic, who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? Now that was a screech owl. And it's kind of crazy how the barred owl and the screech owl hang out together quite a bit in these recordings I get. Barred owl's a lot bigger than the screech owl. Screech owl, I think it's pretty small. But that screech owl, I think the reason I marked this one is because the screech owl has has quite a range of different sounds that it makes. So this is your screech owl again. Sounds kind of like a horse neigh. There's two of them. So these are pretty close. It goes on and on and on. I think it even gets crazier over here. Let's listen. So this kind of cracked me up right here where they start getting a little bit louder. It's almost like the screech owl is not happy with this barred owl for stepping on his little rhythm going here, and so he gets louder and higher. Anyway, probably not. But all right, enough of the owls. I'm sure the owls are not what everybody was wanting to listen to. Okay, let's see what we got here. Back it up a little bit. Okay, so that is a knock. That's a knock, right? I don't think anything. I don't think it could be anything else. It's got a good signature. Listen again. So it doesn't sound like someone stepped on a stick or anything. I don't hear any afterfall where something broke and fell to the ground. It's a knock, and then it's basically silent. There's a little bit of movement here. I'm not sure what that is. Almost sounds like panting, but I don't think that. I don't know. Use your imagination. So there's our knock, and I think let's see what this is. I have a feeling it's a second knock. So this could be a call and response. They're about, about 20 seconds apart. So you've got this one here close. Yeah, so kind of interesting. So the time would be 8:07. So I actually start this project right exactly at 7 o'clock. So when you see the marker up here, just for reference, this is 1 hour, 7 minutes, 15 seconds. So that would be 8:07 and 15 seconds. Just as kind of a way to know what time all of this is taking place. Okay, scrolling along, scrolling faster than my computer can keep up. And let's see what we have here. So that sounds a little bit lighter, almost like a snap, like someone snaps their fingers. I don't think that's what it is, but so it's a little different sound than the previous knocks that we heard. One more time. It doesn't feel like the mouth pop either, but I don't know, maybe. What it sounds like is those sounds that I was getting on that last recording that I did were it was just like a subtle little tap instead of the big full blown hit a home run type wood knock. So this is a second one, and that one is a minute and a half. No, just almost exactly a minute later. So it could be another call and response. So looking at all of this, so this is something that's walking up to the microphone. This microphone was the actual mannequin head. So it's on a kind of a light stand, just a head. I'm sure it looks kind of weird, but animals probably don't care. It's dark, but some see in the dark pretty well. This is, I think, before the moon had come up. Yeah, it was just past the full moon, so that, you know, it's dark at first, and then the moon starts rising. But probably not a whole lot of light at this time. All right, well, let's listen to this little thing that's walking around. We don't have to listen to all of this, but the interesting part was here when it got a little bit closer. Still trying to figure out if this is bipedal or if not, but let's listen. All right, so these microphones are pretty darn sensitive. So this is probably not anything that's huge. It's probably a small animal, and it's it's going through the brush on the ground, and it's trying to figure out where the bugs or whatever are. This little this banging right here, I don't know what that is. I mean, obviously it's the animal, but I'm not sure what they're doing to make the sound. Sounds kind of like digging. So maybe it's just a hog. I didn't hear any grunts though. Usually with the hog, I'll hear some grunts. In case you're wondering what these little things are, they're a pretty low frequency, right? So we're down in that 200 to 300 hertz area. Those are going to be cows. If you look really closely, there's some other echoes up here, overtones, whatever. But this cow. That is a telltale cow moo. Moo. Almost sounds like a knock. Sounds like a knock. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's our first clip. Takes us to, what, 8:23 in the evening. Okay, so let's go to clip 2. And let's see what we've got here. This is marker 2, but yeah. All right, let's see what we have. I think it's going to be this right here, but I don't remember. It's definitely not close. To me, it sounds like that aluminum baseball bat. You know how you get that ring? Like it's a little bit different than a wooden bat. This is kind of like how I hear an aluminum bat hitting a tree. It just has that ring to it. So I don't think that's what it is, but that's the sound that it resembles. Yeah. But it's pretty far away. And just kind of for reference, let's, I'm going to take, so I've got all these effects over here. It's really not that many, but it's more of just kind of a boost, and it's getting rid of those insects. But let's take all of that away just for reference to hear what the raw recording, so as it recorded without any enhancements, and you're probably not even gonna be able to hear it. And I'm pretty sure that if you're standing there, you would not have heard it unless you had some sort of listening device. That's why I really like these mics, but they pick up just about everything. Okay, let's go back up to our full, actually let's drop it down to 80-ish, close enough. Okay, that's our first one, so let's scroll along. Scrolling, boom. So again, this is not going to be close because there's just really nothing going on in this range right here. But let's listen. Yeah, and that's pretty light. The fact that it doesn't feel like it's close makes me think it may be more than just an acorn. It does have some sort of percussive sound to it. But it's far away. Okay, still not close, but let's see. Okay, so that one, that could go either way. That could be just a stick breaking. It doesn't have the deep kind of tree knock sound to it. Yeah, it's really hard to say. That one's kind of a maybe. And I mean, I think I have like 10 hours. No, I think it was almost 12 hours on this one. So we are going to move through this pretty quickly. Okay, so that has a little more of a knock sound, and it seems to be closer. Yeah, a couple little sounds afterwards. So I don't know, this could be a response knock further away. This almost sounds like some sort of an animal. Well, and these are kind of close sounding, so this might be the same thing. But I kind of feel like that might be a knock there. Okay, let's see what we have here. Yeah, I don't know. that first one doesn't really sound like a knock. The second one kind of has that little pop sound. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, this is not going to be a knock. It does have kind of a different looking signature than what I normally see. You've got this line, so that's going to be a steady tone. And then you've got, yeah, I don't even know what this is. I don't remember, so let's listen and see. Okay, now I remember. Okay, this is weird. So it sounds like a barred owl doing a hoo-ah, right? But this signature does not look like your normal hoo-ah. It's just, it sounds weird. It's almost like something trying to sound like a barred owl and not doing a very good job. No, that was an owl. Could have been a tree knot. Okay, so we've got a lot of these things. They look very consistent. Um, I guess in my mind, I'm going to try to remember this because it looks like a little sailboat, or you know what it actually looks like? It looks like a shark fin in the water. Shark fin. Okay, so I don't know if I marked any of the other normal hoo-ahs that you'll hear, but if I run across it, then we'll kind of remember shark in the water signature on this weird one, and we'll compare that to one that is a little bit more confirmed to actually be a barred owl. Okay, this one, I've got that marked as a whole sequence, so let's have a listen. All right, so play along a little bit with me here. So this is coming from different areas. So this is our left ear, this is our right ear. So we've got that first two are coming a little bit more from the left side. And then these here are coming more from the right side. And then this one here seems to be a little bit more, it just looks a little more defined on the left. So it's more than one location where all of these are coming from. So, could this be, could this be a group of them very subtly communicating in a short, kind of a localized space, not like across, a mile or two, but just within a very close area. Let's listen one more time. Yeah, then there's this one. It sounds like it was in a totally new area. Way over here. Okay, yeah, that's definitely Sasquatch. It's gotta be. Couldn't be acorns just randomly falling from the tree. I told you to play along. Okay, let's see what this one is. Yeah, I don't know. This is coming more from the left side. No, the right side. This is coming from the right ear more. So I don't know what this is. We're like it's 9:02. Um, it could be somebody just out beating on a tree. Some dude chopping firewood. There's really no camping areas around here. There's some private land. Um, but I can tell you, I never heard any other signs of people other than this truck or car going by with the bass playing pretty loud. I mean, these are kind of interesting. Let's see. So those are just steps. I don't think it has anything to do with these. The weird thing is right here, it sounds like it's dragging something. You hear that right there? That. You know what it reminds me of is back when I was a kid in school, when they had the chalkboard, the teachers, drawing on the chalkboard, and every time they put the chalk down, it makes a tap, and then when they draw, it makes a. Okay, so apparently they do a night school in the forest, and that was just a Sasquatch teacher. Haha. Okay, then here we have something else. Okay, more of the dragging. Yeah, I really don't know what that is. It's different. I don't have a good natural explanation for it. Doesn't mean that it's not. I just don't have one. So if you do, please let us know in the comments. Okay, so that's kind of maybe something. Yeah, I mean, it's coming from the left ear, so it's a different location than what we were just listening to. Okay, cool. Let's see what we've got on the next clip. Okay, what do you think this is? Pretty sure it's going to be a barred owl. That looks like the old Who Cooks For You. Yeah. Now, if we look right here, this might be a hoo-ah. It is. Okay. So here we are. Let's zoom a little bit. So it doesn't have the same, it's close, right? So we're comparing it to the old shark in the water thing. See how it trails down? We didn't have that on the other one. It was a straight line and then this little shark fin. Right? It's that drop down that's different. And to me, that sounds more natural, more like an owl. I don't think that the recording it was far away and it's not recording this, because that's a significant signature part. In other words, that's really defined. So even as we get further and further away from it, I don't feel like that this part is going to diminish, and just that initial one is going to stay. Now, part of that is echo. But the fact that that other one was such a straight line, no hook that goes down, but the higher little part we did have, it's just different. I mean, there could be an explanation for it, but that first one was definitely different than this. Yeah, so I'm sure you can go back and look at it if you want to. You know what? I'll do a timestamp to make it easy for you. Okay, let's see what we have right here. I think it's going to be this right here. I think and if you start looking further ahead, see how we've got kind of these random kind of, not necessarily all of these vertical lines, but more of the arcs. Those are usually going to be the more interesting ones. Man, I wish that my mic was closer to that. That sounded pretty cool. And that's long sustained, kind of trails down a little bit. I mean, that's right about 600 hertz. That's a good howl right there. But again, if you know, I'm enhanced over here with all kinds of EQing and boosting and stuff. So if we drop this down to the original recording, and this is just, you know, I'm doing this because I want you to know what it sounded like before everything was enhanced. And I don't know that, well, my hearing sucks to begin with, but I don't know that anyone would have been able to hear this. Right? That's far away. And that is the thing I love about the spectrogram, is that it will show you what's there even if you don't hear it at first. Yeah, so we've got that. Let's see what this is. Okay, so we've got some coyotes kind of joining in, as they like to do. Yeah, so we got the coyote. Got the high coyote there. That howl again. That sounded like a little nut. Yeah. So, there's several theories out there. I kind of feel like sometimes if you've got a Sasquatch that does a howl like that, number one, they're pretty smart. So they know as soon as they do that, they're going to get coyotes to join in. So is that their way of locating where coyotes are? Which also brings up the point that, do they actually hunt with or work with coyotes in some form or fashion? It's kind of interesting, but from what I've seen and several people that I've talked to around here, that they travel together quite a bit. Okay, let's continue with. So this is going to be a coyote almost for sure. Yeah, but then let's listen to this and this. Yeah, these are good. I wish it was closer. Yeah, that's a really good howl. And it's not, I don't think that is an owl, because usually when we do that, when you see an owl doing that, pretty quickly afterwards you'll see it again. These birds like their patterns. Let's see what we got here. Looks like maybe a knock. So maybe, yeah, maybe it is. Let's see what we got here. So something is walking up on the right, and then it snorts. I think that's a deer. Yeah? And then it does a tongue clack. Or puts its hoof down. Yeah, so I think that's a deer. I think. Now, I don't know if you could hear it or not. It's more in the left ear. There's a little bitty knock that sounds like it's far away. Okay. This would definitely be that thing that's walking around in the right ear. Anyone want to guess what these are? This is your test. Is it A, a cow, B, a cow, or C, a cow? And if you guessed D, all of the above, you would be correct. Moving along. Here we go. All right. You're going to have to. Oh, there we go. It's like you're going to have to strain because I don't even see anything. This will be more in the right ear. Yeah, that could just be a stick break. I'm not going to put a lot of weight in that. Okay. This might be a cow too, because you've got the multiple, kind of that stacking. Maybe this would be what I want to hear. Let's listen. Yeah. That's a cow, and then that could just be a stick break. See what we got here. Okay, any day. Thank you. Okay, just another stick break and a cow. Okay, this is nice and strong. Let's see what we got. Yeah, pretty solid, pretty close. Yeah, just a knock. I don't see any response in here, but that was pretty solid. So cool. Let's maybe do one more, and we'll call it part one. We're not getting through here very fast, are we? Alrighty, let's see what we got here. These look more like vocals. Okay, so there's our little miniature poodle coyote. Looks like he's trying to howl, and it didn't it didn't work at first. Right here. I think he got something in his throat and he had to stop. So right here, he's getting frustrated. He's like, dang it, I'm trying to howl. All right, so that's mostly coyotes. This right here is interesting. You know, when he gets all frustrated here, that's one coyote. But then we've got something much closer that's right here that's kind of showing him how to do it. The signature on this one is real straight. And as you can see, you've got multiple layers. So you're closer here, picking up these higher overtones, as I like to call them. But let's listen to this again. And is this a coyote or is it something else? So to me, this is the same source, the same fingerprint as this one here. You still got, it's a bit higher, so you've got the 3. Then you've got this other one here. Let's move it down a little bit, and you've also got the 3 kind of mixed in with all the rest of that. So I think this, and this are all the same thing, and these are not. And even possibly this and this are not the same as this. Possibly, but pretty close. Anyway, so, is this a Sasquatch trying to trying to show this little guy how it's done, and then the others join in? I don't know, but it's pretty cool. Okay, and here we have this. All I can say is I'm glad I didn't set my recorder up a little further to the right. Yeah, that tree went down to the ground. Oh, this one might be. There's some weird stuff. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So help me out with this one. Throughout the recording, and it doesn't make, it's not, okay, there's these, look down here at the low frequency, like the very floor of this. You see the yellow. Anything we see yellow is extremely loud. So that's a lot of, I guess, amplitude. This is so loud. This is your sub frequency. This is so loud that it affects the rest of the recording. And matter of fact, the waveform, you can literally see it. It's so low. Normally, it's the bands are so tight that you'll never actually see a waveform up here, but it happens occasionally. You can actually look up here and kind of see a little disturbance there. This one that I've got highlighted, and even here and here, all corresponding with these things. Now, it just on the surface, what it sounds like is if someone were to come up to the microphone and gently blow air right into the mic. In this case, both mics, which would be extremely difficult to blow into both of them at the same time, considering they're on opposite ends of a mannequin head. But it could just be the air blowing. But I haven't seen anything that shows wind, so it's just a little bit odd. It does happen kind of throughout this recording, but it's just kind of weird because I don't see any other evidence of wind in the higher frequencies, which you normally would see. It's just kind of this kind of a brighter colored smear. But let's listen. I'm going to cut the EQ, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I'll back it up a little bit. So, I mean, it shuts everything down just for a second because it's so loud. Yeah, isn't that weird? And this is recorded in a 32-bit float, which should account for, any sort of drop in gain. But look, these are the super high frequencies up here. And when you have that, this is where it cuts out. Like, this is a definite drop in in gain. And I don't know, maybe that's just what the digital recorder, that's just an artifact of when you have something that loud and low, it can't record. Maybe the microphone can't record the higher frequencies when that happens. And that's why it dips out here. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look like it was affected up there as much. So anyway, that's all that really is. It's just, it's probably just some sort of air blowing on the microphone, but it's just kind of weird. All right, we're going to move along from this. See what we got here. This is going to be fun. Well, let's put that back on. Okay, coyote. So what I like is how this stair steps, how you've got one that goes here, the next one goes a little higher, then the next one goes higher, and then the next one goes higher. They were literally one-upping themselves. Too funny. And there's a little bit left over right here. Whew, there's that low frequency again. Okay, so that's kind of weird there at the end. Might even be a cow. Yeah, it almost sounded like a little knock back there too. I've got this marked. Let's just let it play. Yeah, it's a pretty good howl. Just all by itself there. Same thing here. All right, moving along. Again, I wish I was closer. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. And we are right at just under 700. So right in that range that you would expect to see possible Sasquatch. Forgot what this was here. Let's listen. Very distant coyote. That could be a knock. Cows there. What else we got? All right. This one's weird. When I first heard it, I really thought it was like Adam Levine out there doing moves like Jagger. That little whistle right there? What the heck? What bird or what animal does that? That's crazy. Okay, so we've got a barred owl, but barred owls don't do that. I mean, if you really want to kind of get down and dirty with it, we've got the stair steps again. Hello. Thank you. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was definitely weird. So I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and end this part 1 here, and then we'll pick up on the next marker on part 2. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me a comment, all that fun stuff. Share it with your friends or your enemies or anybody you want to.